just tell me about the structure of how you started finding the NEMT and some of the frustrations that you've gone through. How difficult is it for you as a consumer to get someone to come pick her up to take her to that doctor's appointment?
So it's a nightmare because I don't have the flexibility of using whomever I want, because if I did, I would have found my own company. There are some transportation providers out there, like I've used several because I had to use the broker. I call the broker first.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so I called the insurance company. The insurance company gave me a transportation number. I call the transportation number and they take all the information and say, okay, great. They will be there. Your appointment's at 11:30, so we will be there at 10:30. They always have to give you an hour ahead of time. And at 10:30, the first time this happened, we were ready. And at 11, nobody was here. And 11:15, nobody was here. So you call, you have to wait on hold, you have to go through all the things. And when I spoke to them that first time, I don't know, one time the driver had a flat tire, another time he had no gas. What's happening is when they get here, fine, they're here, they take her to the appointment, but it's getting someone here. We're not using the same company. We don't get picked up by the same company all the time. And I did have one or maybe two that were real good and the cars were clean and the driver spoke English, because we're not getting anybody that speaks English either, which is very difficult because I don't speak Spanish.
Right.
And getting her in the van and stuff is fine. It's getting them here. So what I found, it's been about 6 months now. I don't know how many trips, because we had to go once a week. So you're talking about a round trip, but I can't book the pickup from our home and book the return, because the first time they showed up 2 hours late and that was like horrible. So I had to call the doctor's office. I called the doctor's office. Thank God the doctor's office has been wonderful. You get here whenever you can get here. So we had our first appointment booked in the morning. And then I decided, well, maybe we should book in the afternoon. Maybe it's less, it doesn't matter what time we book. They're always late. They're late or they don't show. Or they show and you get to the doctor's appointment and then you get a text that says, we're at your house and nobody's here. Well, that's because somebody already picked us up. So it's just been a nightmare. Anyway, and then when you get to your appointment, it's not like I could say, okay, come pick me back up in an hour, because you don't know how long you're going to be in the doctor's office. And then they're not going to come there and sit. Been lucky enough that one or two drivers are like, just call me, I'll come back. But it's just not the norm. So my poor mom sits in a wheelchair waiting for them to come for a 10-minute ride, and a 10-minute ride. So I'll even say 30 minutes round trip.
Yeah.
For a half hour at the doctor at the infusion center, because they'd be ready for her. It's a 4-hour, 5-hour ordeal.
Wow.
So she has an appointment at 11. We have to be ready at 10. We should be done with the appointment by 12:30, but we're going from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, just because we're waiting for transportation. So
that's unbelievable. Before using services like NEMT transportation, what did you expect the experience would be like? Like, did you think that should be like what you and I would think in our mind? Did you think that they would just show up and they'd have a nice vehicle? And
I thought it would be a nice vehicle. I thought they would show up. I perfectly understood. We need an hour window. We're not the only people that you're picking up. We're not the only people that you're transporting. I get it. I don't expect you to be here at 10 o'clock, right? Well, I kind of do, but if you're telling me an hour ahead, then to me that means you have a dispatch that knows who's where. And yeah, things happen, but it's every single time something happens. And there's a problem with the dispatching. There's a problem with, I don't know what, maybe you don't have enough drivers. But what I expected was, okay, we'll be ready an hour earlier and we're fine to sit at the doctor's office an extra hour. You have other people to pick up. I expected them to show up. I expected the car to be clean. I expected to be able to communicate with people, and I can't. I expected that there was some kind of a routine, call us when you're ready, but it could take up to a half hour, an hour. If I know what I'm prepared for, I can prepare. But there was none of that.
You're dealing with the unknown completely.
I'm totally dealing with the unknown. and it's usually a minimum of 4 or 5 phone calls per pickup. That's 10 phone calls for one trip. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I could get logs if we need them. I am not exaggerating. And they passed the buck, and they just, like I said, they picked us up one day, and then they said they were here waiting at our door. Well, how do you not know that we were already picked up?
Right, yeah.
And if it wasn't for some of these drivers being kind, one of them said, I'm not supposed to, but I'll wait in the parking lot for you because the doctor said you won't be more than an hour. It just shouldn't be that way. It's, you know, so yeah, I expected clean cars, able to communicate, and a safe ride.
In this industry, I mean, how much help would it be that you'd be able to have a app like Uber, where you could just go on the app and not have to go through a broker, the broker calling the NEMT company, the NEMT company dispatching to a dispatcher. What's happening is there's just too many people involved.
Too many people.
So if you were to just go on an app and be able to just book your ride, even if it gave you an hour window, as long as those people that take the ride are showing up on time, this would be a world of difference for you and getting your mom to the doctor.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was it's the middle person, because after speaking to a couple of drivers who knew what they were talking about, and they just super helpful, and you could just tell, and then dealing with the broker, that's where the breakdown is. But when I called the insurance company, you know, they file a grievance, but then they don't do anything about it. We're still working with the same broker, and I was not able, and I've tried to get directly to the companies that gave me the good drivers. There was 1 or 2 of them consistently, because I had a lot of rides. And I really wanted to work directly with those companies again, because they were reliable, more reliable, and communicative. And I'm not allowed. I have to go through the broker. So yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, if it was covered under insurance, it would even be more amazing.
No, and that's the point.
If it's affordable, it's amazing. But there were times that it got so bad. I mean, I was in tears at times. Like, you know, I'm taking time out of work. I'm taking time out of my poor mom, who has dementia on top of everything else, doesn't always know what's going on. And like, we're sitting here like idiots waiting for somebody to come that's not coming. And then, you know, she has to go to the bathroom. So now we have to do a diaper change in between. And, you know, she's sitting in a diaper for 3 hours because we can't change her like you can change a baby in the bathroom. You know, I mean, that happened one time. She said, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And her aide said, go ahead, I'll change you. And I looked at the aide and I said, where are you changing her? On the changing table in the bathroom? No, we have to wait for the car to come to get her back home. So now pressure sores are forming because she's in the wheelchair. To get her back home, to now change her. It's not just not showing up. It's a whole other issue, depending on the reason that you need the car. So yes, that would be amazing, because I'd be able to. I mean, yeah, Ubers are more reliable, right? I call an Uber, they show up.
It's like, it's like
I've been told by these companies, well, we can get you an Uber. Well, no, you can't, because I can't get the wheelchair into an Uber. How are we getting her an Uber?
That's exactly
I can't lift her. She's dead weight. Or I'd put her in my own car and put the wheelchair in the back of the car. I can't do that. She has to be transported in a wheelchair, which stops everything for us.
How nice would it be for you to be able to go out to dinner with your mom, or maybe go do something, go to the mall and just wheel her around the mall like you did when you were, you know, when she was still able
When she was still able to walk, we did take the wheelchair. We used to, because I could get her in the car. So we get her in the car and I would put her in the wheelchair and I would wheel her in Walmart and she would push the shopping cart and I would push her and we would laugh. And no, it would be great. I even tried to, I asked one of the drivers, how much for me to give you? Can you just stop at the restaurant so I could get her lunch? And I'll even buy you lunch. And, you know, I'll buy you lunch. We want to sit in a restaurant. And they couldn't do it. They had to call dispatch. You know, I mean, really, they can't, because it's probably illegal. I don't know, but I'm desperate. I want to be able to take my mother to dinner. My mother loves slot machines. Loves slot machines. There was a place down the street where you could play slots. Imagine that. I don't know what that's all about, but I would have loved to be able to take her back there. Like, you know, she's not interested in a lot of things, but when you say slot machines, oh, I'll go to the casino.
Yeah.
You know, so her aide, we were going to take 2 cars and drive to Tampa, but can't do it. It's a liability for the aide. Yeah. And I can't get her in the car because I have to put her in a wheelchair, roll it up, lock it in, and drive. Right. So yes, I would love to. My gosh, let's not even talk about restaurants. Let's just talk about family functions.
Right.
I have my mom for 3 months. My sister has my mom for 3 months. Well, guess what? My birthday is in June. My mom's not here, so I can't see my mom for my birthday. She can't come here for the family celebration because we don't have a way to get her here unless somebody picks her up and puts her in a car, which is very, very dangerous because she's dead weight. Vice versa, when she's at my sister's, you know, what is it? Yeah, when she's at my sister's, she can't come here for a celebration. And when she's here, she can't go to my sister's for all the birthdays and Christmas. So, yeah. So,
and that becomes an issue for your mom.
It's a huge issue.
Yeah,
it's a huge
issue. And the enjoyment later in life, as we all age, as we all do, I think it becomes more important for people to hang on to those memories, to make those special memories.
My mom was always the life of the party. My mom was always the one that did everything for everybody. And I can't get my mom the help that she needs because we're not, you know, I don't even want to go into all the other stuff with insurance companies. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal. The woman who thrives on family can't be around family unless we make it work.
Right.
We'll do the things at my sister's so that my mom can be there because she's at my sister's, but it shouldn't be that way. It just shouldn't be that way. I should be able to put my mother, again, we want to pay for it. We're fine. Like we would chip in if it was a little more money, whatever. I should be able to say, oh, mom's staying with me, but it's so-and-so's birthday at your house. I don't have to say, oh, I'm going there, see you later.
And leave mom home.
And leave her home with her aide. Like it shouldn't be that way. We should be able to put my mother into a car, drive her to see her family for an hour, because once we get where we're going, there are Hoyers at both houses. Okay. Hoyer lifts.
Yep, I understand.
So once we get her to the house, she can be Hoyered out of the wheelchair because she can't stay in the wheelchair for that long, and put into another chair, put into her bed at the other house. We can't get her to the other house. So
and that's
not
really
just restaurants.
It's yourself. It's yourself and so many people that are experiencing this hardship. When we were talking earlier, just in passing, you know, I mentioned insurance, that a lot of insurance companies include a certain amount of free rides, and that in your case, so how many rides does she get a year?
I get 26.
There you are.
I probably have used 14 of them because she needed transfusions every week for 8 weeks. And I think we did 7 weeks. So that was 14 rides, 7 weeks times 2 rides a time. That's 14 rides. I shudder to think when she comes back to me in July, I know I'm going to need 4 of those because I have to get her to the doctor and back 4 times.
Right.
So that's 18. What's going to happen if she needs more infusions?
Right.
And I don't have any more times? Now what do I do?
Right. Exactly.
So, you know, you're limited by the number, and then they're not even doing a good job at what they're providing. And you saw a couple of, my husband I'm talking to now, but he saw a couple of the vans, and I was like, well, doesn't Dave have a van we could use? Like, you know, whatever. I mean, some of them, I'm a little afraid to get into.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like they're not, but I don't have a choice.
Right.
And I don't do well with not having choices. I need choices.
Well, I think
yes, that would be
having
amazing.
a choice, regardless of anything, especially your safety for your mother in a vehicle, is ultimately important. And anytime you're transporting somebody that's elderly or somebody has mobility issues, obviously safety is top priority, because these people can't protect themselves. They can't put a seatbelt on themselves. They have to be seat belted. So the equipment, meaning the vans that are coming to pick her up, should be vetted. And that's one of the things that SanaRide will certainly do. We're only going to be working through vehicles that have been vetted through our app. So these companies will have to submit pictures of their vehicles, submit the drivers, background checks, and all of these things that go into.
I don't know who I'm riding with. I mean, really, like, do you really know even when you're in an Uber? We don't know. But it would be nice to have an option. Yes, it would be nice to say, oh, your sister's coming to visit you, but we can all go out to dinner.
Right.
You know, we can just do all the things that she can't walk, but she can sit.
Right.
She can sit in a restaurant if we can get her there. She can sit with family, you know.
And she sure can pull the old, at the casino, pull a slot machine.
Certainly pull the slot machine.
Bless her.
And, you know, I would love to do that for her, you know. I would love to do that for her. I'll go. I hate the casino. Yeah. But if that could be like another memory that I have before my mother is gone, right? Like, I mean, we've talked about it. Her aide and I have talked about doing it, but it's not doable. Yeah. I need to have something to get the wheelchair in so she's safe. Right. And it would be worth it.
Yeah, well,
it
great.
Would be worth it.
I love that. And, you know, and that's something that SanaRide, that is what we are here, is to make that solution. Let's just say, hypothetically, if you could design the perfect transportation experience for your mom, what would that entail? Just briefly, like, what would be the easiest way for you just to be able to, obviously using an app would be probably the simplest thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you've used Uber, so if you had an Uber kind of app.
Yeah, I mean, schedule the ride, right? Like, we've used Uber when we know we're going away. So I know when I need, you know, it's not one of those all, you know, pick me up in 20 minutes. It would be great to be able to, I know when the doctor's appointment is, or I know when I want to go out to lunch or whatever, schedule the ride and have them show up. Right. And the way Uber says, your driver is here in 10 minutes and 20 minutes, and I could see where the driver is. I could see where the driver is. I know when to Hoyer her out of bed. I know when to change her diaper. I know when I have to get her in that wheelchair so we can walk out the door on time.
Right.
But the way it is now, I wait for them to pull up before I put her in the wheelchair, because they've lied so many times and they don't show. So that would be the perfect thing. Give me a time, let me know where you are.
And being able to follow them on the app, that would be really great.
Following on the app would be amazing. People that are bilingual is amazing. You know, just come in and get her, which they do, you know, and they'll wheel her down the stairs and stuff. But, you know, safely get her into a van that doesn't look like it's falling apart. Same for me, because I ride with her and it's a little scary sometimes. Yeah, and then just be able to get her to the place and then say, okay, well, you know, we should be ready. With a doctor's appointment, sometimes it's hard, but our doctors are very good to say within. Yeah. And just to know, okay, if I give you a half-hour notice, you're going to be there in a half hour, right? Yeah. And I know things happen. You know, it's happened to me with Ubers. Sure. The Uber's on its way and all of a sudden it disappears and now I'm getting picked up by another ride. Things happen, but it shouldn't be the norm. Right. It should be where I can schedule, especially with an infusion. I know from the time that we get there and she's in the chair, I know within 15 minutes on either side when we're going to be done. Right. So I should be able to schedule that and say, come at this time. Right. Not lie that my 11 o'clock appointment is at 10. Right. So that they're going to come at 9 and they don't come. And so then we're not late, and then not lie on the other side either. Right. Just
accountability,
reliability, you know, if something happens, it happens. But when it's every single time, something's broken. Right, for sure. That's not the norm.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly what SanaRide is scheduled and to change the way that people are able to transport themselves with their families, to open those people up that are mobility challenged, whether they're in a wheelchair or just walking with a cane. Because sometimes somebody who even walks with a walker, they can get down, but getting them in and out of a car, it becomes difficult and it's dangerous because someone can fall, break a hip, God forbid, and then it becomes even a bigger issue. So that is exactly why SanaRide is going to solve those problems, where it is just a simple app that you can pull up, order an NEMT van, and they're going to show up at your doorstep. And we'll give you a time frame. Like you said, that was an excellent point. You can see when they leave. If they say we're going to be there in 1 hour and you see them traveling towards you, you know that ride is, so you have peace of mind. Yep. And really what you've told me, peace of mind is really what you need, right? I mean, it's the stress and the frustration of not knowing.
You wouldn't want to see me on the days that they have to come. I'm a lunatic because there is no accountability. There's no reliability. I'm not a liar, but I lie about my schedule. I lie about the time of the appointment because I have to.
Right.
Yeah, I walk around here like a crazy person because it's really sad. Like after those first several times, it's like, I know they're not coming on time. So don't even worry about like being ready. So we started booking our doctor's appointments earlier because it was taking so long, and it's just a nightmare. So yes, the reliability, cleanliness of the vans, that's safety first, and then cleanliness is very important. But reliability, people have lives, people have jobs. I mean, we were blessed enough that the doctors didn't care. They were like, as long as you get here a half hour before we're ready to close, we will take you. She will get her infusion.
Which is fantastic.
But how many times, if you're not there on time, sorry, we're not holding the spot for you because you have to reschedule. And it's out of my hands. I'm on time, but my hands are tied because I can't transport her.
Right.
One time, I don't even know if you want this, but one time in the very beginning, they didn't come. I was the nut job. What kind of vans did Wanza have? I don't know. The aide had some kind of a, SUV.
Yeah.
We wheeled my mother out of the house. In the Hoyer. We put the Hoyer as close to the car as we could get. One person was outside. One person was inside. We literally swung my mother like she was Tarzan into the car in the Hoyer. The person inside grabbed her and we plopped her down. But now to get her out and into the doctor's office, we didn't know what we were going to do because we couldn't take the Hoyer with us because we couldn't fold the Hoyer. So we took the chance and we took her to the doctor's office, hoping that somebody in the doctor's office would be able to help us lift her into the wheelchair. And that didn't happen. They wouldn't do it because it was a liability. So now we had to turn around and come back and then wheel the Hoyer up to the car again and then bring her back in the house. And the aide's car got scratched. So not only was that very dangerous,
right?
It was a lot of work for us and it was hard on my mother. We also damaged the car, so we never tried that again.
Right, understandable.
So, yeah.
Understandable. Well,
it's bad. You weren't there, you were working. Yeah. But I would tell him, and he knows I'm a nut, but he was like, whoa, it's pretty hard.
Well, I can tell you nobody should have to deal with this, especially where it's not a one-off type of situation where you're living this over and over and over. And you'd mentioned that your mom stays at your sister's for 3 months, and then she's coming back here for 3 months. And that's just amazing that you and your sister are taking care of her. I know how much you must love her.
We do that.
So I just want to thank you personally for taking the time out of your day to give me the time to talk to you, because it's people like you that have a voice and that you're trying with your voice. That's what we need so that we can push this app forward, find investors to understand that this is not a small problem. It is a nationwide problem.
I never thought of it until it happened to us. But now that my mom is with my sister for 3 months and I'm not doing the transport, I haven't really been thinking about it. But thinking about it now, like talking to you, it's really needed. I mean, I just think of Josephine and what she would do, right? When she wasn't mobile, that was a former neighbor of ours. And I mean, off the top of my head, I know a lot of people who are probably stuck and I didn't even realize how stuck they are.
Good point.
I mean,
how many people are living in captured or in jail of their own home where they can't even get out?
Yeah, I mean, we never gave it much thought before because it was difficult to get her out. But because we had a wheelchair and she was able to stand some, we were able to put her in. But standing now is very difficult. So if there's like a paraplegic or a quadriplegic or I don't know, like anybody who can't
maneuver,
stand on their own and can't maneuver. The problem with my car is it's high, So from a wheelchair, we can't get her in. It's not safe.
Right.
And then with the aids car, it's low enough we could do that. But then it's, well, once you get her in, what do you do with her when you're done? Like we're still lifting her, and it's just dangerous. Yeah. So the best thing is to have a wheelchair accessible form of transportation, so that you're not thinking about Hoyers, you're not thinking about any of those things.
Right, right.
Most people that aren't mobile have wheelchairs, right?
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, it's just, can't really do anything with them if you can't get them in a car.
Absolutely.
You can't do anything.